Helen Hadsell is one of the most luckiest people to ever walk on this earth. She's won little and big prizes, and the great thing about her is she's not lucky by chance. She's actually lucky by choice. And in her book, Contesting the Name It and Claim It game, she explains exactly how she was able to manifest all these winnings. In this video, I wanted to share with you the 3 exact steps she used in order to manifest all these winnings, so you can apply these into your own life too and manifest exactly what it is that you want. So if you're interested in learning more about this, stay tuned and let's get started. Welcome back to this video, guys. My name is Rav Sitala. I'm a manifesting coach, and recently I came out with this new audio program called Manifest While You Sleep, which is designed to do exactly that, help you manifest while you sleep with sleep affirmations and subliminal audios, which you can simply turn on while you sleep, which is going to help you accelerate your desires. So let's get on with this video. I wanted to do a little reading from a book, Contesting the Name It and Claim It game. She explains the process so beautifully in one of these stories. And then we're also going to talk about the 3 different steps. Let's get onto my computer screen and I can start reading to you right from here. One weekend, we went to the Texas State Fair in Dallas. I became intrigued with color TVs and the sharp, colorful, clear, crisp pictures. That's when I got the notion of what our next project would be to win a color TV. I gathered all the positive thinking I could conjure up, turned on imagining faculty, and replaced our then 24-inch black and white unit with a color set. I discussed our next project with the family, and they all agreed that color TV for 603. That was our house number. Was easy to mentally think about. The TV entered our mind. They were doing this more as a family project, and they would manifest different things together. And that's a really fun thing to do, right? Then it happened. Our first TV win. Chris won a 16-inch portable black and white set for naming a duck in children's contest. About 3 weeks later, I won a 14-inch portable TV in a local radio contest. That too was black and white. We now kidded one another and discussed that perhaps we were not concentrating on color enough, so we agreed to give color more thought. The next opportunity that presented itself was a caption contest. In 10 words, we were able to tell what a baby was saying. One of the newspapers was sponsoring this contest for humor. The only prizes offered were color TVs and portable black and white sets. This time, I was so positive I could win. Of course, I did, but alas, another black and white set. I refused to be discouraged at what one might consider a failure, and I would not give up. It got to be a big joke around the Hadsell house. Mother is colorblind, or she isn't color conscious. After 2 years of projecting for a color TV, I finally gave in and went out to buy a set. That really wasn't any fun. I know there are no failures, only delay in results, but that delay was just flat out taking too long. And also, guys, manifesting is a game of patience, okay? You have to really be aware of that, because sometimes it may take longer in order for you to get what you want, but how patient are you? Will you just give up, or are you just gonna submit? But the story is not over yet, okay? On Monday, while he was transacting business, I had a free day. I chose to go to NBC Studios in hopes of having the opportunity to see or talk to Art Linklater. I'm gonna skip this part, okay? And I'm gonna just go right on to the story because she kind of diverged from there. Now let's pick up the story that I was sharing with you earlier about visiting the NBC studios. While taking the studio tour, I noted a line forming at the side of the building. People were waiting to be admitted to the studio to view a show being taped. I asked how I could be admitted and found myself in line with waiting group. The name of the show was It's Your Bet. They were going to shoot 5 half-hour programs that day. The following week, they would air them one each day. One could be eligible for prizes if, number 1, you were chosen by the camera that zoomed into the audience and stopped on you. Number 2, if the celebrity that was playing the game, it was sort of like an ESP, could in sequence currently answer 3 questions his mate had already submitted to MC, who was conducting the show. It's like the show on TV today called The Newlywed Game. If all the answers were correctly given by the game participant, the audience player would receive the prize that was flashed on board prior to the game. It could be a refrigerator, color TV, washer, etc. But it would be a major appliance. If they missed one, the price would be of considerable lesser value, a portable appliance. If none were answered correctly, that would be your price, nothing. It sounded interesting and certainly it was a challenge. Fun. I had nothing to do until 5 p.m. when I was to meet my husband. While waiting, I became acquainted with the mother and her daughter, who were standing in line ahead of me. They began discussing the possibility of being chosen for one of the prizes. They were familiar with the program, I was not. They informed me that they had been entering contests for years and had yet to win one prize. Bite your tongue, Helen, an inner voice said, don't blow until you can show. It continued. As I listened to the stories of failure, I realized why they hadn't won. It was obvious. Sure, they wanted to win, but instead of being positive, they had doubt. Not negation or pessimism, but just enough doubt that they nullified any positive energy they might have had when they entered a contest. I call your attention to this because this is what most people are guilty of doing. They say they are positive, but somehow they don't retain this positive energy constantly until their wishes or desires manifest. Here was a perfect opportunity for a positive experiment. I wanted these lovely people to win their desires. The mother wanted a color TV and the daughter expressed a desire for a new refrigerator. It was only then I had turned on full blast my concepts of how great I thought positive thinking was and asked if they would like to play a game using positive thinking and visualization. They agreed, but I could sense they were thinking, what have we here? A cook? In all families, I must admit the studio audience was not too large as an estimate. I would say about 45 to 50 people. So that was cutting odds considerably. I told them to be passive and not to project any positive energy until the item they wanted was flashed on the screen. When that happened, they were to think they would be chosen by the house camera to vie for the prize and be the winner. They agreed. After being chosen, I suggested they look at the answers given by the partner playing the game, then mentally project that answer to the person that was to give the correct answer. In other words, simply play mental telepathy. I reassured them several times it was a game, and if the three of us followed the rules, they would win prizes. What have you got to lose? It will just make watching the game more interesting, I continued to explain. Then the fun and games began. The first prize, which was projected on the board, was a silver service with an assortment of wine and years of supply of the wine. We knew that was not what we wanted, so we showed no concern. The next prize for the person in the audience was to win a color TV. I could see both of them perk up. The next minute, the house camera zoomed in on the mother. You better believe she was startled. She turned to give me a weak smile as if saying, well, I'll be. The players on the stage did their part. I'm sure both mother and daughter sent the answers to the person playing, and of course I did. All three questions were answered correctly. The bewitched, bothered, and the bewildered homemaker from Ohio won her first prize, a color TV. The games went on, and the prizes of no importance were offered. We were then informed there would be an hour break for lunch. The show would be continued after lunch. 3 more programs would have to be taped. The 3 of us went across the street for a bite to eat. That is when the daughter asked the question I knew she was quite concerned about. Didn't I think the whole game was just a coincidence? I agreed that it certainly did seem that way. Okay, this is a really important part too, guys. So let's read from right here again. That is when the daughter asked the question I knew she was quite concerned about. Didn't I think the whole game was just coincidence? I agreed that it certainly did seem that way. So would she like to now win her refrigerator by coincidence? Why, yes, let's do that again, she replied. When we returned to the studio, the crowd had tripled in size. When she observed this, one could sense she was concerned. Then she gave me a weak smile and relaxed. The first prize that flashed on the screen for the audience was her refrigerator. The person that the camera zoomed in on was none other than the surprised daughter. When the mental telepathy game began, it was amusing how swiftly the players picked up the answers. And of course, she was the winner of the refrigerator. Well, what do you know? Another coincidence. Perhaps only thing with me is I flat never did believe in coincidence or accidents. After that show was taped and completed, we had a 10-minute break before the next one would start. The mother and daughter then asked me what I would like to win. They assured me that they would help me. At that time, I was having so much fun helping with their projects. I already had my reward. They left. I still had 2 hours to spend before the meeting with my husband, so I stayed to continue watching the game. As I sat in the audience, I could sense the group, not one to my sensing, had a strong desire to win an appliance. Maybe they didn't need it, who knows. But I got restless and bored until I remembered that my old dear mother had mentioned several times in her letters that someday she would like to have a color TV. So here I go again. The camera zoomed in on me. The correct answers were sent to the players. I will admit, I got a little concerned for a moment when one of the players was wanting to give the wrong answers. Sigh. He paused and then he came forth with the right one. Thanks to the lovely people on the panel, my mother is now enjoying a color TV. Okay, that's a really fun story, and this is from chapter 3 from the Name It and Claim It game. And I thought this would be a really awesome way for you to show how she was able to do this properly rather than me paraphrasing how she used to do it. So now also let me take you through this 3 steps process that I mentioned earlier in this video. And this is what she mentions here. Step number 1, set a goal. If you know what you want, you can have it. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, you have to be really clear about what you want and just stay focused on it. And step number 2 is never entertain any doubts. Because sometimes what starts to happen is you may start feeling a little worried about whether your manifestation is gonna show up or not. But this is the time where you have to start reaffirming to yourself, reassuring yourself that you're already on the process of getting what you want. So there's nothing to worry about. And step number 3 is you can con yourself into anything by repeating it over and over again until you incorporate into your thinking. And this is something that I have been explaining on my channel too, time and again, that you have to be able to keep imagining or repeating these affirmations in your reality until it becomes a part of who you are. And once that starts to happen, you can start to win or manifest anything that it is that you want. Alright guys, this is all I wanted to share with you in this video today, and I really trust that you were able to get a lot out of this video today. And don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button so you can stay in tune with our future videos. And with that being said, I want to wish you all the very best. Happy manifesting, goodbye, and namaste.